Today, this is Verson Bola. I hail Carib-Sport. Well, it's that groovy time of the year, the TTPFL. They have blessed us with some information as to when they start. I'm going to try my best not to cuss, forgive any bad language on my part, and, you know, I fed up, I fed up. The shit just continues. The first 2 years of the TTPFL, I tried to be patient. TNT football was on a reboot, life hard, we're starting from ground zero. I understood we are in the fourth flipping edition of the PFL. All right, the fourth. It's been around now for 2.5 years. You know, I don't know how these people live with themselves, but when you're comfortable with your lack of shame, it's a hell of a thing. Let me just get to it. Everybody started their league in September, that being the Caribbean. We in Trinidad didn't know when our league was starting. We never friggin' know when our league is starting. League finishing me June, July, August. One day football will come. September, October 1st. We still ain't no one ass. I mentioned this on my YouTube channel. Somebody sent me sent me a message. Well, the president said on our radio channel it will start on I believe it was the 24th, October 24th. Now, why was this not disseminated? Why does the media not have this info? Why is it not on the TTFA page? Was an undercover friggin' league? 5 days before the league starts, they launch the premiere of the league. How do you ask you to tell people 5 days before a league started going to start? That is how you promote a league, unless of course you didn't even know when your own league was starting. Talking about how the league is evolving, evolving into what? Huh? Well, the league then begins. Friday was a doubleheader at Tobago. Good intent, doubleheader bringing football to Tobago. Apparently, as I was told by Tobagonians, this was the worst time because it's Tobago Carnival. And who you expect to show up at the match? I thought to myself, well, maybe people might come to the match and then go to a fete after. Well, it turns out football started about almost 2 hours late, and the second match never took place because the teams came too late. And of course, people didn't want to watch football till 11 at night. And the reason for this was a lack of flights from Tobago. So, some flights were booked up or didn't show up or something like that. But it was flight problems. Now, flight problems is not the FA's fault. We understand this. But as people put it, why would you book this on the carnival time in Tobago? I don't know. All right. But then again, this is a country that played its League Cup final the same day. The country itself was playing a Gold Cup match in America. Didn't think of delaying the League Cup by about a day or two or a week with all that free time we have in Trinidad with no football because it made sense to have the friggin' League Cup compete with the national team playing abroad. Anyway, let's fast forward to Saturday, Sunday. Saturday, watching some games, no ball boys. I said, all right, these things happen in Trinidad. I suddenly realized I see no advertisement for matches on Sunday. This is strange, and usually it's three game days. That might count 4 teams not playing. Sunday comes around because this is Trinidad. Maybe they'll tell us at the last minute. 3 hours before the match, TTPFL page hasn't had an update since July. I assume that page is now defunct. Stop calling it TTPFL because it's an embarrassment. Delete it. TTFA page has no news of a professional league match that day. This is TTFA. So, but these people, I wanted to play in boy. So I went on a betting site because I know people bet on football. Not me, I don't know things. But and I saw yeah, 2 matches today, boy. So I said, all right. Wave TV didn't advertise a match. I thought, well, maybe Wave doesn't want to show the match. I sent a message out of curiosity. Will you show any football today? Well, it was 3 something, football starting at 5. And Wave TV always responds very quickly. And the fellow said, yes, actually, we're on the way to the match now. We don't know who playing because they did not give us a schedule. But we're going to cover football. I said, well, I happen to know who's playing because on the net it says, and I believe it was Central versus Point and Club Sando versus Eagles. So at least they know who they're going to cover. How the ass in 2025 you cannot publish a schedule for the national league of your country? Is there any other country in the world this backward? I want to know. And this has been going on every damn season. And even on the other occasion they publish it, they do it like some kind of undercover way. I remember on the top of the TTPFL page, if the schedule changes, they don't adjust it. And this is nonsense. Someone told me if you go on the TTFA page, they have the schedule. I went, I didn't see the schedule. The fact that I have to look and look and look tells you volumes right there. So we have this league that will not tell us when the games are. Are they serious? Are they really serious? I'm sorry, but it's a pack of ass running football. It's a pack of ass running football. We have our FA president who is on some FIFA committee for development. Partner, Stay home and develop football in your own country first. You're in a country with no FA Cup for the last 5 years. You're in a country where the fans don't know where the ass and when the ass the games are. Develop something at home. This is 2025, not 1975. It cannot be an issue to disseminate your schedule. It can't be. And if it is, the wrong people running football is embarrassing and irritating at the same time. Again, I mentioned in a previous broadcast a fellow called Dejan Kovacevic from Croatia who loves TNT football. My boy sent me a message yesterday. It is so nice to see the TTPFL back on TV again. I'm embarrassed that this man has such devotion to our country's football that he has no connection to. Dejan, you could do better, boss. You could do better. But thank you for bothering to care about TNT football. You must be an angel from heaven sent down for TNT football. How you could like something like this, I don't know. I'm from Trinidad and I fed up. I friggin' fed up. Um, we expect from a league who can't tell you when the league is starting and I can't give you a schedule. You want to tell people 5 days before a league start it's gonna start? You can't disseminate a schedule year after year after year after year. It reminds me of some people who get into business and say business, but they can't run a business to save their life. Well, this is the TTPFL, right? No, the good news is I managed to find out the schedule. Undercover worker, undercover league. There's a website called flashscore.com. And if you go to flashscore.com and look up Trinidad and Tobago football, or if you can't, just go Google flashscore TTPFL, and they will show you all the matches going into late February or March. Um, I assume these matches are correct. I am going to put up on a page on this video the matches coming up for this weekend. Don't buff me if my info was wrong. This is what I got from the internet. The point being, if the betting shops know when a game is, if certain websites know when the game is, um, from abroad that is, why can't we in Trinidad be given this information? Obviously, somebody in Trinidad has it. Why is it such a problem to disseminate information? I'll say it again. If a website and a page is too difficult for you people, put up a PDF on your Facebook page and let people download it and share it. You know? Well, that's that. All right. So PFL, yay. Um, I know what to tell you. It's a crap league with crap organization. I was watching the standard of football. I can't sugarcoat this shit no more. We have some very brilliant players, and not surprisingly, that's the one good thing about the league. It has been a platform for people to go abroad, play a better brand of football, and make some money. And I was watching the standard of football over the weekend. It was amazing, but we no longer have John Paul Rushford. We no longer have Real Gill, Natty James, Dante Gilbert, if I remember correctly, Muckett. These fellows are no longer there. Rion Moore. These gentlemen are no longer there. So, what are you going to do, right? We have to discover the new ones. Having said that, looking at Samuel, um, young Faustin, Jehu Faustin, son of Marvin Faustin, looks very promising. And of course, this fellow called Zum Zum Garcia, and one or two other footballers here and there. Um, well, that's it. TTPFL. I know what to tell you. We have anything to look forward to. I really don't want to ask. Let me just say, I have to give Wave TV some credit. These people remain dedicated. I think it's Wave Sports, but I call them Wave TV. Wave Sports. These people remain dedicated to trying to Tobago football. Last season, I wanted to hear this. The Jamaicans were supposed to, Sportsmax was supposed to bring football. Half the time they didn't bring it. It was never explained to us. But the TTPFL made sure to let us know Sportsmax was bringing it, even when they dropped short. Once Wave took up the mantle, they would never tell us Wave was showing football. Not once did they promote the fact that Wave TV was showing football in Trinidad. Wave TV has now stepped forward again. Not once have they mentioned or given Wave TV credit for this. You could mention the Jamaicans, but they can't mention your own people. Somebody tell me, well, they're not mentioning it on TV because they want people to come to the games. We cannot be that pathetic and backward. So if the TTPFL and FA have no manners, I will do it. Wave Sports, thank you very much for saving the football fans. Yes, there were some glitches. It was sticking. Wave contacted me and told me the football will be free until further notice because people can't be paying for this. This made it clear that the problem was not on their end, but rather the service provider um, for the link and so on. And regarding how the refund would work for people, either you would start back afresh or be refunded. They're still trying to work that out. But give them credit for recognizing crap and, you know, trying to fix it. Um, let me just throw this in one time. I hope you don't mind. The Tobago match, we heard a commentator was late because his feed wasn't great. But that fella, I hope he doesn't mind me mentioning him. His name is Richard Goddard, an ex-keeper for Trinidad at youth level. Richard played for Trinidad at the Pan Am Games around 98, 99 in Canada. Was a really, really good goalkeeper. Very unlucky not to play for the senior team. I thought when Shaka retired, Richard could have been one of the keepers along with Inson Kelvin Jack, but such was not the case. Good, solid goalkeeper from um, Tobago. Played for Charleston Battery, Toronto Lynx, and Vancouver Whitecaps, if memory serves me correctly. He's our coach of Bishops in Tobago. He's a goalkeeping coach as well. He works with the Tobago House as some sort of sports liaison, and apparently he does commentary in Tobago, and we got to hear him. So the next time, if you're hearing him, you know you're listening to a guy who played a good brand of football back in the day. I saw him play in the Pan Am Games versus Mexico and whoever else, and he made some fine, fine saves. Good goalkeeper. So I tried Mako to see if his son, who's a young adult, could play for us. And turns out his son, I hope Richard doesn't mind me mentioning, is an amateur boxer and an aspiring amateur. He is the light heavyweight champion of the state of New York. So good luck to that youth. Might represent us at the Olympics. You never know. So again, TTPFL, a waste of friggin' time for people who love football. Tune in, do your best. For those of you who like this channel, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do appreciate it. And I wish I had something positive to say. I already do, but I fed up. It's the fourth edition. I friggin' fed up. I try not to bust cuss. God bless the TTPFL because somebody had to help all you out. And I might as well add, God bless Dejan Kovacevic from Croatia, who continues to love and support Trinidad and Tobago football. And I, for the love of God, don't know why. God bless that man. That is what a football fan is. God bless football. God bless me.